Out here on the sand dunes just east of El Paso, Texas. Beautiful El Paso, Texas. I'm not being serious when I say that El Paso is not very beautiful. Got some nice stuff in it, but not very beautiful. We're out here looking at the collection of garbage and also this really cool woolly member of the mustard family, Dimorphocarpa wislizenii. Look at the fruits right there, those little silicles, I guess you would call them, which is the term for a fruit in the mustard family. You can see the petals have fallen off. That's just the ovary, but it's still got the stigma on top of it. That same structure you would find, albeit in a smaller form, in any of these four-petaled, six-stamen flowers. Sorry, the wind is making it a little hard to get a good money shot. Whole thing's woolly as hell. Mustard family, Brassicaceae. Look at those leaves, covered in pubescence, covered in a coating of little tiny hairs that enable it to be thriving on these dunes. It is hot. It's hot closer to the ground. You stand up, you get some breeze. The dogs are chilling in the car. You can see we got mesquite here, not topping out. You know, same plant you could plant in good soil. It would get 30 feet tall. Here it's topping out at about 3 feet tall. Got Yucca elata out here. And you got this plant over here, which is a sagebrush. That's Artemisia filifolia. You can see some of them get really big. They get as tall as regular sagebrush. They've got a nice smell to them, but it's not as pungent as, say, Great Basin sagebrush. But, you know, nice collection of trash out here. I'm not going to lie, you know, sometimes it's nice to look at the garbage. Just see what people, if there's a piece of foam. A piece of foam. Get those fucking dunes. Dunes are cool because you get a lot of dune endemic plants. You get stuff that's going to grow on the dunes that you may not find growing, you know, in the deeper soil or in a different kind of substrate. Cylindropuntia leptocaulus, though, is a generalist. There's our friend Tasahio. Mean plant, but we appreciate it. It's got a place, doesn't it? And of course, there is a little bit more floristic diversity near the road because the road channels the runoff. Say if they only get half an inch of rain, may not soak in here, but it's going to hit that road and the road's going to channel it like a gutter to the sides. Always find a little bit more floristic diversity on the roadsides than you do further off the road. But look at that Dimorphocarpa. Look at that. That thing's done flowering. That's a tough plant, though. Oh, we got goat heads. What a drag. Bad invasive Tribulus terrestris. There's a native look-alike, but the easiest way to tell them apart is to find a fruit. And when you find the fruit, that will give it away. I mean, the fruit of Tribulus is a very spiny, unpleasant little burr. A lot of diversity in the genus Dahlia here in Texas, and this is Dahlia nana. Those tiny yellow flowers, the stamens inside that keel petal, that elongated paddle-shaped petal, and the whole thing white and covered in pubescence. Oh, here's a cool one. This is one I got in my yard because James Peace grows it. He grows a ton of these, and they root easily from cuttings. This is Poliomintha incana. It smells good, too. It's happy as a pig in shit anywhere you got sun and heat in Texas, which is a lot of places. You know, zygomorphic flowers, bilateral symmetrical flowers, whole thing's woolly as hell. The calyx is everything. This is a plant that definitely needs full sun. You don't give it full sun, it's not going to be happy. Tougher and shit, though. Nice woody shrub. And it smells good. It smells incredible. Very pleasant scent on this guy. Here's a cool Onothera, which is probably a dune endemic. Look at those pendant flowers, those pendant buds before they open. You can see these flowers are last night's flowers because this is a night bloomer. So the flowers are closing up now. This is basically done. And of course you got that very unique pollen. It's like cobwebby pollen on those anthers. Looks like cobwebs, vicin threads. Vicin threads, pollen occurs in vicin threads. Look at that. What a unique form for it, though. I wonder what helianthus this is, but look at that undulate leaf margin to reduce the amount of surface area that's exposed to the sun at the same time. It's got a glaucous color to it, covered in hairs. This won't be flowering for a while, probably. Doesn't look like actually, no, it's got buds on there. Doesn't look like they've gotten significant amounts of rain here, but It's a cool, you could already tell it's going to be a cool species. This is wild. If you know the genus Penstemon, this will blow your mind. This is Penstemon ambiguus. It's very obviously moth pollinated. What else could access that tiny hole? And then you got that floral tube as well. Moths have a proboscis that can unfurl from their mouth area, and then of course goes down in there, hits the nectar at the base, and in doing so pollinates the plant. You still got opposite leaves. Whole plant is glabrous and waxy, but the leaves are highly reduced. It just looks like a typical broom form. There is the fruits. It's a dried dehiscent capsule with a bunch of seeds inside, which I'm going to try to collect because this is fucking wild. Penstemon ambiguus is not rare, but I think this is probably a different ecotype, maybe a different subspecies. I've seen it before. It didn't look like this, though. It didn't have this woody habit, and it wasn't growing on sand dunes. Pretty unique. Lots of moth pollination in the Chihuahua Desert, especially in these dune areas. This will probably be blooming another night or two, and then it'll close up. But either way, you got a little bit of pink in there, too. Really cool. Variations on a theme. The environment selects. The environment literally sculpts the species. Another moth-pollinated plant right here, Euploca. Boraginaceae, stiff little hairs. See, it's a white funnel with a tiny little hole. Oh, this is a cool one. This vine almost looks like a convolvulus, but it's Mirandia wislizenii. Look at that, very distinct wax. Almost looks like a pubescence on those leaves. Plantaginaceae is the family. It gets really cool pinkish purple zygomorphic bilaterally symmetrical flowers. It's not flowering right now, but it's a dune endemic, right? Likes the sand. A lot of endemics here because of how extreme and unique sand is as a substrate to grow in. And there's that Onothera again, that evening primrose, still in full frontal nudity, full frontal floral nudity. Here's that Helianthus in flower, probably just Helianthus petiolaris. Who's in there? Oh, there's some guy in there. Oh, they're banging in there. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Gotta get a photo of that. Here's what the phyllories look like before it flowers. Yeah, hairs on everything. It's a nice little annual. Holy shit, I had no idea all this stuff was something so cool as Amsonia arenaria, which is a dune endemic that's only known from the dunes and sand around the El Paso area and the West Texas, New Mexico border. Another moth-pollinated plant. Look at that tiny hole. Flowers withering as it's early afternoon, and it just looks like something you'd call a weed, a roadside weed, and this is all it. But those flowers are epic, and no doubt they smell incredible too, like so many moth-pollinated flowers do. Aposinaceae, the milkweed family, tons of cool Amsonias. Look at how hairy those narrow leaves are, extremely narrow leaves, reducing surface area for the hot dune environment. And there's that Artemisia everywhere. Actually, no, this is the Poliomintha. Holy shit. Convergent evolution for the dune environment. This thing smells incredible. This is that mint relative. It's a bushmint. Gets 4 feet tall. And again, it does great in cultivation. I don't know why this isn't planted more. Doesn't need sand. Just has what it takes to be able to eke out a survival on sand. Yeah, see, that's all that Amsonia. You'd have no idea. It just looks like a broom. Just looks like brush. You take a closer look, or you're there at the right time when it's flowering, and holy shit. It's like a spiritual cleanse. Seeing this shit. I'd love to see it getting hit by moths at night. There's got to be some cool moth diversity out here at night. You know, you come out here, drink a couple NA beers. Check out that Facilia. Drink a couple NA beers, smoke a stogie. You know, far away from the moths. You don't want to put them off. And do a pollination study, you know? Maybe take some psychedelics or something. I don't know. You know, I'm just spitballing here. This grass is probably cool too. I wonder what species that is. God, this fucking Poliomintha. You know, James Peace collected this and told me it was cool. He took cuttings of it and has been growing it and pushing it on people. And now I see why. What an epic plant. This would probably do fine in Austin, as long as you gave it full sun. Look at that. That's all that Poliomintha, man. This is fucking wild. Oh, nice piece of garbage. There's a tire. I bet there have been some nice plastic fires out here. You know? Get a bunch of drunk guys in their side-by-sides lighting shit on fire. What a charming thought, so American. Look at it. That is all that Poliomintha, man. That is a huge... This thing gets big. God damn it. I had no idea. I thought this was like a little shrub. This is a fucking beast. Oh, my bad. This is that Artemisia. I apologize. We love you just as much, though, don't we? Oh, it smells good. It's weird. It's pretty cool. Convergent evolution. Environment selecting two different species with the same form. You know, I was seeing these shrubs from far off, wondering what they were. Shrubs are small trees, and it's not surprising to find that it's Rhus microphylla, little leaf sumac. Another wonderful native, quote, weed that does so well. This will pop up in alleys. In Alpine, Texas, throughout West Texas. Really great, sturdy shrub. Didn't know it could grow on dunes, though. Oh, watch out for the Phacelia. Look but don't touch. They're beautiful, but some people are allergic, as I learned the other day. Oh, the dopamine's flowing now. This habitat's so fucking nice. Look at that limestone over there, too. Oh, does that get you hot? I bet it does, you sick fuck. Look at this root, too, from this prosopis. Or now it's Neltuma. You know, look, we got some off-road enthusiasts up there. Maybe they're smoking speed in their little dune buggies with their Trump flag. I don't know what they're doing up there, but good for them. Go get it, guys. Nothing they can really damage too much out here. You know, I guess they could drive over the shrubs and destroy everything, but, you know, trigger the libs. But who's saying they're trying to do that? Maybe they're just trying to have fun, you know? That's what they do, right? And okay, besides occasionally flipping their vehicles over onto themselves and paralyzing or killing themselves. Holy shit, this is fucking... There we go. There's that Mirandia wislizenii in flower. Look at that. A dune endemic that surely doesn't need dunes is just adapted to them. This thing needs to be grown. Come out here, get seed of this, and grow the ever-loving shit out of it. That's an incredible plant, man. That is. I bet it's got a big root down there, too. You could tell. I mean, all this veg coming up. You got the Phacelia. I want to take some of those seeds, but fuck. You know? Not every species of Phacelia causes a rash, but some do. Not as bad as poison oak, but it is going to ooze and it is going to itch like hell, and it's going to feel really nice when you put the hot water on it. Look at that Mirandia. I think they changed the genus name to something else, but it used to be Mirandia. That's a gorgeous plant. Holy fuck. That's nice. And look at the super waxy. Remember, you grow in a desert, wax or hairs are going to be your coping mechanisms. You know, coping mechanisms the same way that dark humor, toilet humor, and, you know, misanthropy, cynicism, and complete the inundation in Earth's plant life are mine. Look at that. Even the leaves on that Mirandia are stunning. Look at it. They're like almost iridescent, silvery iridescent. What a fucking banger. That's a nice plant, man. Oh, look at that. They're blowing shit up at the quarry over there. It's got to be a fun job. Oh, and here's that dahlia flower. And I saw this back the other way. I remember leaves either covered in wax or hairs. And this one's using wax. Some dahlias, like Dahlia nana, uses hairs. This is using wax. Very waxy, very stinky. And then there's those tiny pink flowers, purple flowers. Almost looks like Dahlia pogonanthera, but slightly different. So I made a couple herbarium collections, you know, to log that this stuff was here. These will be pressed and put in the university herbarium. Interesting to note, you know, I every time I do it, I thank the plant. I say, thanks, fucker. I love you a lot. Thanks. I got to take this. Hope you don't mind. But anyway, look at that root on that Amsonia. Look at how deep that is. Another adaptation of dune plants. Deep roots. And probably that connects to a much deeper storage root down below. Because the dunes move. The dunes shift. So you got to find, you know, something you got to worry about. You know, if you're growing out here, being buried. Oh shit, what is this? I didn't get this. Oh, this is a nice one too. Dahlia frutescens, not to be confused with Dahlia formosa. Dahlia formosa is normally multi-branched. least in my experience, from the bottom. Well, I guess this is multi-branch too. Ah, fuck! Forget which one this is. Frutescens or formosa. I'll put it in the captions. Hairy calyces. Look at those hairy calyces, which help the fruit inside, once the flower's done, get wind dispersed. Wonderful native shrub, as you can see. Look at those flowers. God damn. I said wow. Pinnate leaves and papilionaceous, that just means Faboides subfamily, pea flowers. This is kind of impressive. Chamaesyracha is the genus, nightshade family, Solanaceae. So much nectar on those flowers, you can visibly see it. And those little radar disc flowers. A little orange nectary in the center of the plant. It's like almost like a little nectar disc, buzzing with tiny pollinators. Lots of Chamaesyracha diversity. It's a big genus out here. These cool little native bees. There's another one. And then over there you got Thymophila acerosa, which is basically a little bush marigold. Marigold tribe Tegidi, which means that the leaves are going to smell very fragrant. Yeah, ants are hitting most of that. Ants, and then there's like a little red bee, a little red tiny solitary native bee. Massively important plant, though. You can tell. Look how much food's being provided for all the bugs, for all the insects. Cool little flowers too. You can see those little native bees. They're hard to nail down, though. Oh, that's nice. Look at a yucca elata forest. The soap tree yucca. Right here we got Cucurbita fetidissima. Coyote melon, smells like absolute hell. But really cool native plant, tough as nails. Volunteers everywhere. You got a Lepidium species, Brassicaceae. The native Lepidiums. Got Solanum meleagnifolium right there. Another important native. You know, these are plants that would probably be invasive if they made it to another continent with a similar climate. But here they're wonderful native plants. Look at that. Just a pumpkin. It's just a pumpkin. Just a cucurbit. Oh, you got little guys crawling out. Who's in there? Oh, evidently that's a female flower. Remember, Cucurbitaceae are monoecious. Almost all of them. You got male flowers and female flowers. How do you know it's a female flower? Because they've got that little ovary beneath the flower. Oh, that is a nice one right there. Hoffmannseggia glauca. Let's go check it out. Ah, such cool weeds you get in Texas, and so underappreciated. This genus goes all the way down into Chile. Look at the glands on it. I've featured this species before. Forms a big tuber underground. Well, tuberous roots. It can spread by rhizome. I've seen it busting through pavement before. Caesalpinioides, subfamily of the pea family Fabaceae. There's those glaucous, waxy leaves, and then those flowers are just epic. There's a lot of cool Hoffmannseggias in the deserts of North and South America. Remember seeing some really cool Hoffmannseggia in a Trichocereus atacamensis forest at 15,000 feet near the Bolivian border. Holy shit, you got these, what the hell is this? Some mushroom. It's all dried already. Oh my god. Wild. Just growing on the side of the road on this dusty ass, dry, windy highway in West Texas. Who knew dunes could be so full of rare plants? And rare endemics. I mean, I did, because you see this phenomenon all over the United States, all over the western United States, but regardless. Now you do too. Anyway, that's all I got. Have a great day. Go fuck yourself. Bye. Look at that Phacelia. Look, but don't touch. What? What? You sketched out, huh? You vibed out? Am I vibing you out, Louie? Bunch of good shit here. Pediomelum tenuiflorum, just outside of Alpine, Texas. Castanea integra, Scutellaria Drummondii or Potocina. I think it's Potocina. Penstemon jamesii as well. Look at those linear leaves. And Asclepias asperula with those the antelope horns milkweed. Not to mention all the Thelosperma and other good shit. Rus. Tetranuris. Look at that tuffaceous sediments. And I've been obsessed about Poliomintha all day. This is tenuiflorum, which is not super common. Look how tiny the flowers are. And look at the distance between those two shoots coming up and how skinny they are and how deep they go, and they don't seem that well anchored right at the surface because they're anchored into a giant fucking root, thus the name breadroot for this genus. Big root down there. All the Poliomintha are so nice. Really fucking cool genus of plants. Dahlia pogonanthera too, which I only know from South Texas. I've never seen the East Texas. Those are the sepals, all hairy and shit. It's still flowering a little bit up top. Then the whole fruit comes off. It's just a bean with those little sepals still attached to it for nice wind dispersal. Look at this little fucking guy. Look at it. God damn. Desert cicadas are pretty fucking cool. That's all I'll say about that. There's another species I saw, a big fat black and white one. I found him because I just heard that. I found this guy just because I heard the subtlest buzzing. Jesus. So cryptic. Didn't even see you there with the ocotillo. Got loud little bastards too. How do you live underground in a place where there's no soil? That's what I want to know. How does he do it? Yeah, it's cool. So this is intrusive igneous rock. It's been rounded in a river somewhere, and it was obviously brought here because this is all limestone. Just picked it up right there. So it's probably being used either to mash up food or to excavate chert, because there's a bunch of chert nodules on top of that knoll up there. The chert nodules are just embedded in the limestone. So maybe that's where this came from. I don't know. It's fucking curious, but I'm gonna put it back. Pretty cool. Look at that tiny little guy. Sounds like a short circuit. Just sounds like a minor short circuit. You got those big cicadas out here that you can hear in the background. Then you got this guy. Sounds like somebody left a TV on or something. You know, the old school TVs. Or like sometimes when you got a bottle of fizzy water and there's pressure, you know, carbonation pushing air out. That's what it sounds like.